Hi Fude lovers, thank you so much for watching and for all the positive comments I received from my last video. I really appreciate it. I'd like to start making monthly favorites videos as I love these kinds of videos and it would help me film more regularly. It's really hot, it's been really hot lately, so I haven't been wanting to film and the lights are making me sweat right now, so I'm going to try to get through it as quick as possible. For the most part, my favorites don't change much. I'm a creature of habit. However, in order to go through my collection, I try my best to use different brushes. The first one that I really like this month is the Fude Japan L. Shiseido makes Fude Japan brushes and most Suku brushes. The hairs on this brush are super soft gray squirrel, and it's quite dense. It feels pampering and luxurious whenever I use it. I use it as an all-over lid shader after applying eyeshadow primer, and it doesn't skip over the primer. Sometimes brushes won't apply evenly over it, and this one applies without any issues. Now I want the Fude Japan M eyeshadow brush as well, so that one is on my to buy list. Next we have the Hokuto Gs1. And I'm also really loving this Canadian Squirrel brush as an all-over lid shader. It doesn't skip over the primer either, and it's less soft than the Fude Japan L since it's springy Canadian hair. Mine is a paddled shape, but the original stock image on CD Japan shows a head with a tapered tip. The handle, ferrule, and head color combo is gorgeous. I do have an entire video dedicated to this eyeshadow brush, so I'll try to link it or put it in the video somewhere. If Hokuto made the face brushes in Canadian, if they made face brushes in Canadian Squirrel and the brushes had longer hairs, or sorry, longer handles, I'd be all over it. The train is distracting me. Okay, so the next one we have is the Koyomo Nadeshiko flat shadow brush. If you have small lids or want a precise brush for the inner third of the lid, then this exquisitely soft goat paddle brush is for you. For size reference, it's larger than the Hokuto J24G and the J004G. You can also use this as a crease brush, but I think it's best for the inner third of the lid as the top of the head is not dense enough. It's like as it gets higher and higher towards the tip of the head, it thins out. So I do like it for lid shading. And then we have the Hokuto Gs1. This is a goat hair blending brush. It seems like it's either Saikoho or Sokoho, and it's small. It's the smaller and skinnier version of the Hokuto J142. I previously owned the J5529, which I disliked and didn't think would be useful. So I'm glad I bought this one because it turned out to be way better than the J5529. You can see this. It's an excellent targeted blender for people with smaller eyes or not a lot of lid space. I'm going to put this down. So I did find that the J142 would blend and bring the color too high up if I wasn't careful. It was also prone to overblending and mudding the eye look. With the J146 right here, it's skinny and small enough to blend exactly where you want it. Since it's nowhere as dense and has a smaller surface area, it won't make the eye look muddy or overblend nearly as easily. And I find it perfect for blending recently as I've downsized to this. I still love the J142, but I just have to be more careful while using it. Okay, then we have the Hokuto Gs1. This is a gray scroll blending brush. I also have a review video dedicated solely to this brush, so I'm not going to go into specific details, but I have been using this in the crease, and that's my favorite use for this brush. I really love that it maintains the vibrancy of the shade, as some brushes tend to dull out the color and blend away easily like the Wingos 3. That's the issue I have with the Wingos 3, but this one doesn't do that. Granted, they're both marketed as blending brushes, but yeah. So the Z11 blends well for a scroll brush, but I have to be careful with placement because more often than not, I find that I end up going too high with it because it's, you know, if I compare it with the Hokuto J146, it's a lot larger. And I think the Z11 is closer to the J142 size. So now we move on to face brushes. Here is my beloved Hakuto Gs1 Tapered L. This is a true workhorse in my opinion. I did pair it with the Clinique Fig Pop recently, which is harder pressed. And whenever I have a hard pressed blush and I don't know what to use, I pull the Gs1 out. It does not over diffuse when you buff, and it's not the softest brush. It's probably either Sokoho or Hokuto Gs1, and softness wise, like, it does feel prickly for me sometimes, but it doesn't hurt to the point that it makes me want to stop using it. Next we have the Hokuto S5521BK. I think it's BK or BBK. This is a mix of squirrel and horsehair, and it's actually soft enough for the top of my cheekbones, which is very surprising. When I first saw the squirrel and horsehair mixes, I was really skeptical because I wasn't sure if it would be soft enough, but luckily it is, and I don't feel any poking whatsoever with this brush. It's basically the squirrel and horse mix equivalent to the Hokuto J5521 shape that I love so much. And it may not be soft enough for extremely dry and mature skin. This does blend like a dream. It blends really well. It's like snappy because of the horsehair. And I'm also a fan of the handle and ferrule combo. Black and gold is so classic and gorgeous. Like, I love black and gold. Show it to you. Yeah, it's dense too. Lastly, we have the Shiseido powder brush. Okay, I'm gonna have to move these like over here or something. So I truly think that this is a wonderful powder and finishing brush for the price. It's an affordable option for those who do not want to shell out like $160 for the Hokuto Z1 or MK2. This is bugging me. Okay. And the hairs are soft and applies well. I mainly use it for finishing powder, and it gives a smooth, even finish. So it is kind of floppy, as you can see. It actually is pretty floppy, but I don't have any issues with applying finishing powder with this thing. Like, I'll dip it into my Hourglass ambient lighting powder a couple times and then swipe it all over my face. And I don't usually travel with Fude, but occasionally I'll bring some of my cheaper ones with me, like the Chinese brands and this brush. And I traveled with this one a couple times, and it's held up well. To keep your face brushes safe during travel, I recommend using brush guards and then putting them into a case. And I highly recommend this brush if you're on a budget. I really like it. So thank you so much for watching, and hope you enjoyed my monthly favorites. See you guys in my next video. Bye.